Hey Rough Cutters, it's CaliCritic here, and I'm here to welcome you guys once again to the Rough Cuts Wednesday. And to continue off this trend of reviewing the latest new releases in film to come out on DVD and Blu-ray each Tuesday, I'm going to take a film that I saw a few weeks after it actually released back in March, and it's one of the very few films I did not review from this year on my channel, and that movie is Limitless, starring Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro. Directed by Neil Berger, who also directed The Illusionist, a film that's still on my watch list. Bradley Cooper plays Eddie Mora, a guy who's trying to write his first book, but he's struggling a lot. He's only written one word. That's until he comes by across his brother-in-law, who's a pharmaceutical rep, and he gives him this drug called MDT-48. I think that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's MDT something. And what this drug allows him to do is access 100% of his brain. Before you know it, he has lost his old image just like that. He finishes his book in days, he manages to become a hotshot Wall Street guy, and he soon gets a job with Robert De Niro, being this big Wall Street guy, of course. But he's also got these people who are after him, and the drug soon begins to have its side effects if he begins to run low on his supply. Now, Limitless is actually one of the coolest techno thrillers that I've seen in the past couple of years, and that's especially because of Bradley Cooper's brilliant lead performance. He may be playing a little bit in his typecast zone of the characters he's been playing since The Hangover, but he manages to do pretty good. He reaches out in the dramatic side pretty well, and he nails down all those charming scenes as well, and he also mixes in great with the action scenes as well. I mean, he's got to handle so many different genres at a time, but he manages to balance them so well that his performance just excels in this film. Robert De Niro is decent in this. I mean, his choices have been very questionable in the past few years, but he does a decent job in this, even though his character really isn't used as much as you thought it would be based off the trailer. As I said before, this is directed by Neil Berger, who directed The Illusionist, and he does a fantastic job in this. For a thriller, you always have to maintain a constant fast pace most of the time to keep the viewer engaged, and that's exactly what he does with this. He manages to maintain a very fast pace throughout the film to always keep you interested in what adventures or predicament that Eddie gets into next, and all the scenes that lead up to the finale in the end, he just paces them so well. The movie ends so quickly. It's a fast-paced journey unlike you've ever seen one before. And also loving his direction of how when he's not on the drug, everything's kind of grim and kind of grainy in the footage, as you feel like you're watching a documentary at times. But then when he's on the drug, everything is bright, and all these different visual tricks he does to show him on the drug are just brilliant. And I actually really want to find the guy who did the opening title sequence for this film. The opening titles for this film is the camera panning through several images of New York City, but they all seem to be like moving shots. I don't know who the guy is that made this, but it's one of the most revolutionary opening title sequences I've seen. It's definitely one of my favorites. Limitless is a very cool thriller, just there may be some plot points that never are answered that well, especially one that involves a blonde girl that Eddie gets together with. That's about it. There are just some minor plot holes, but otherwise Limitless is such a fast-paced thriller. It's definitely very fun. Bradley Cooper delivers one of his best performances in it, and Neil Berger is at the top of his game with his direction in this. I'm going to give Limitless a strong 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely one of the coolest thrillers out there right now. So I thank you all for watching, and if you want to see more of what I do, head over to my main channel, CaliCritic Reviews, but I'm not going to be doing any videos this week because I'll be attending Comic-Con this weekend. You can follow my Twitter account though, because I'll be live tweeting my time there if I can. The link for my Twitter is below if you're interested. So I'll see you guys next week with yet another Wednesday Rough Cuts review. Goodbye.